Well, good morning, everyone. I went to start this video, and then when I literally pressed record, I got the 5% bleep bleep, and then the screen went dark. And I was like, oh shit. And then for some reason, I feel like when that happens, the video quality isn't as good or something. Or, I don't know, it just scares me. But I can't do a workout with only five because it takes me I mean, my back and abs routine, which I'm doing backwards. I switched it up and actually did my first ever editing um, for my last back and abs so that it was back first and then abs. But I initially did abs first because after you do back, your lower back is wasted, it's exhausted, and then you have to do a bunch of sit ups. Nah, nah, no. And yeah, a couple things I want to touch upon because of your attention spans. I have gone into long. First of all, this is the most important. I've gone into a long inside joke that not one person has commented on or said anything about at all, which is like the most dumb fucking thing anyone who talks about religion or politics or just anything going on in society. I would constantly bring up how ignorant it is for people to ever be pro Palestine, ever. Because, and I said every single time that if you were to go to the alternative, which they're against, and I every time said Islam instead of Israel. Like I said Islam, and not one fucking person goes, "You mean Israel?" Like you would think that nitpickers that pick apart my shit all the time would go and pick something that obvious. That's how ignorant people are about world culture. Is that I literally said the alternative was Islam instead of Israel, and no one picked it up. Seriously, like how fucking diluted and just like far away from reality are you as a majority of people if you care about those things. So if you're pro Palestine, it means I'm talking to you, which means that why the fuck you watching my channel? And I mean, if it's to work out, then I apologize. And all I have to say is just watch a lot of my earlier videos because that's mostly where I was just like strictly just not upset about being affected by politics and religion and just racism trying to make a comeback like full force. Like it's not. They're like fuck BLM is exposed, so they're just like we have nothing to stand on, like literally. And then today, oh my god, you find out that the pipe bomber. Oh, and I also have to mention that the only argument people used to have about the about our president being a terrible person before they accused him for being a child molester because he was somehow in the Epstein files, even though he was only in there to get rid of Epstein. And actually, Epstein hated our president and was actually working with another man that was another freak that who was extremely wealthy and very powerful about defaming the president. So literally it's the exact opposite. Like literally, people. And then okay, so the January 6th was the exact opposite. They reported the exact opposite of what the president said, which was that he wants the local offices to fight through the struggle, even though they have an ignorant president and vice president. To he was literally he said fight and then said every person that works in the government, not citizens at all. They cut it and edited it. The shit that I tell my fucking producer to do, and he never fucking does it. Because, it's a lot of work. And I just don't feel like it. So, and I always want to just show you the real me, nothing edited. Because I fucking hate people that do that shit. I'm not sure if it was as big as CNN. It's something that, CBS did it like crazy for, the whole Kamala Harris thing. And crazy for that. That's why Trump won billions of dollars from them. I think it was in the billions. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because that defamation almost like ruined his life, and he almost went to prison forever. They tried to put him into fucking prison. They literally had like people go and search his house in the middle of the fucking night. Why the fuck hasn't Mr. Cancer literally been brought out in his whitey tighties, completely delirious, dragged out in public like our president was? Like, dementia and fucking cancer is no excuse. You can't just be like, "Oh, I'm sick." That doesn't happen. You when you're in you're in the mafia, you can't just be like, "Oh, I'm too old." No. Like, you're born into it, you die into it. Like, you give your life for the cause. Period. End of story. You can't just retire from the mafia. There's no fucking such thing. So, there's no fucking such thing when you're the lead political figure of what was the greatest, most powerful country in the world. Which actually might be again just by the fact that we finally have a president that's, charismatic, got a sense of humor, he's not like, incredibly handsome, but he's not an ugly guy. And that also brings me up to the most recent thing. Again, besides the propaganda, inciting the president to incite, violence. Not inciting him, but falsifying literal footage to incite violence and having it on repeat. I have had so many black women in general, because black women fucking love me, tell me that on January 6th he told everyone to storm the Capitol, but really it was doctored footage from CNN or MSNBC. That would be the obvious. And okay, before the point of the January 6th or 5th pipe bombings that, thank the Lord, never went off, but haunted DC for the last, it's almost 6 years now, but the entire Biden Kamala Harris administration, which all those FBI agents were fired, and now the Democrats their talking points this morning are that they would have found them that all that time ago if they weren't just fired. But it's like, wait, no, then why didn't they all that time ago? They had 4 years. It's like I can't believe the talking points of MSNBC and how many people believe that logic. It's like, literally, it's TV magic. It's like, it's worse than TV magic. It doesn't even, it's like 1 + 2 equals 100,270. 5.3. Or, whatever. But yeah, that's what it means. So, yeah, alright. So the true facts, before I wander off and start working out, and rambling throughout my video. And before I fully lose all of you, yes, so the January 5th, I thought that pipe bomber, seeing because this is a downfall of the news. They have like an hour something broadcast and title it. No, this is a downfall of all YouTube. And hopefully I have most of your attention. All YouTubers, if you have a title, get to the fucking topic. I don't want to fucking subscribe or fucking hear about your advertising or your personal life or any of that bullshit. If you title a video something specific, you clickbait, which is like every YouTuber except for me is guilty of. Literally. Like that fucking Brawly Warden. That fuck. He'll fucking he fucking did all that shit. He's that, I guess, supposedly the counterpoint of me, but not, because it's like comparing like Chris Helmsworth to Liam Helmsworth. Yeah, they look alike a little, but that's the only comparison whatsoever. Me and in this fuck do a similar workout YouTube channel, but there is no fucking way that they're alike at all. And I gotta stop saying the fuck word also. But yeah, seriously, if you start a video about a topic, get to the fucking point. Period. So I watched like an hour-long broadcast today just to find out that the whole time I'm thinking this is some privileged ass fucking pretty ass white boy, because I went to school with a fucking dude that was literally Hitler's fucking orgasm. Or probably not Hitler. Hitler actually didn't give a fuck about genocide specifically. Like specifically. Cut that part out. Specifically, he only cared about whatever gave him the most power. He swayed whatever the fuck. He was just a brilliant man. He swayed wherever he needed to. Like, he banked off of the failure of the defeat of World War One in the poverty in Germany. That is the reason why the Nazi regime came to power, because they were all like, look at how fancy we are. Because he devoted funds to mass parades and showmanship. He was a genius. It wasn't, okay, so it wasn't really his whole fucking thing. Like, he went whatever the way the wind blew. So, at that time, all the fucking people that supported him, all the very wealthy people, wanted mass genocide. So, he just went along with that shit. And so I think it was maybe Mengele or one of his other, top officials, the SS Reichsmark, anyways, one of the members of the High Command had a real issue with the whole genocide thing. So whoever that was, I'm not sure exactly who it was. I don't think it's Mengele, because Mengele was uglier than Hitler. But he was his scientist. But and it definitely wasn't fucking his second in command, which was eventually his second in command. This is like late in the war. Himmler. Yeah, so which looked just like Hitler, only but just a different version of him. I mean, he almost had the same last name. So yeah, and it was the same, amount of and same, beginning. It had the same amount of what vowels or whatever, and the same sound of vowels or whatever, same mashup. Anyways, it was just too much of the same. They looked too much alike, and at the end, like, he even was shortening his mustache to look like Hitler. It's because, yeah, he thought he was gonna end up taking control because Hitler was gonna get assassinated or something. Like most other political figures that are very radicalized, or just in general, they were mostly going by, just cause and effect. and the history. They were actually going off of history. That's why the man was actually really intelligent. Why it's like so terrible today to think of him as being intelligent, because it's like, but he was, you know, the leader of mass extermination of, you know, people of color, Jewish people, you know, ended up becoming like everyone that wasn't like I'm getting to the perfect male specimen or female specimen, which is blonde hair and blue eyes and absolutely beautiful. Um, Incredibly suave and just intelligent enough to act like a stuck up popular person that's uh, pretty much the intelligence of a prince or a princess, is the ideal human being. And I grew up with um, a guy that was literally that spitting image, which is funny because he ended up marrying and having children with, like, I mean, a girl that used her personality to boost her looks so much, to the point where people thought she was gorgeous, but really it was just her really amazing, vibrant personality, which is like, how the fuck? So really, like, their relationship is like a cockhold relationship. I wouldn't be surprised if she, like, mentally cheats on him every day, like at work or somewhere, because like I had friends that literally thought she was single because of the way she spoke, because she was so engaging, things you don't do with another man if you're involved with someone. You just don't do those things. And then it's like, oh, why do you have to, you know, bring, like, you know, all that into it? It's like, because your personality's making me fall in love with you. And that is her personality on purpose. She's incredibly fake. Just like he is. He was incredibly fake. Um, One of the biggest users ever. He was the biggest grifter ever. He didn't buy. The reason why I'm thinking about him is because the pipe bomber had almost an identical fucking privileged house that he had. He just went and he bought, like, when he turned 30. Okay, motherfucker. Like, if you're a man and you deserve, like, anything at all, you buy a home when you're in, like, 22, 23 at the latest. At the fucking latest. Anything you do after that, you're privileged and no one should respect you, and you should have a soulless, empty fucking life. You should be cheated on by your wife, which you are probably cheated on every day, because that whole, like, he had this whole, like, let's go out and fight, because, like, you know, me and the rest of my crew, he got into bodybuilding, and because he was, you know, perfectly genetics, he had, like, literally the perfect genetics and looks. The guy made me look ugly. And it's funny because he only surrounded himself with attractive people or wealthy people. And I was never really that wealthy. I mean, I had a house and I showed wealth, way more wealth than everyone. But he was my friend since, like, fourth grade. So, like, close friend. So, yeah. I mean, I used to go over his house and play video games. But he was always just this kind of just, he would get close to you, but then he'd feel weird because, like, his best friend was a middle brother down the road who always had this, like, middle brother complex. He ended up having almost a similar life, except for he gained a bunch of weight. Almost exactly a similar life, only but he's not attractive at all. He's always had a pocket face, but he downright, like, he is a genuine, awesome person, and that's why he deserves the life, that fake life that he has. He deserves it because, hell yeah, man, like, he created a personality. He became just attractive enough as he needed to be, and he got himself, like, pretty much the equivalent of the other person we're talking to, like another 2 out of 3, which today, a 2 out of 3 is impossible to come by. And like to find, like me, I'm a 3 out of 3. To go and find someone else that's a 2 out of 3 that doesn't have baggage or isn't like a 1 or 2 or 3, 4, 5 time loser is literally fucking impossible, especially where I live. I have to go to the most plastic places on earth to find what I deserve. With just nothing but pure fucking wealth, where it is what it is. Like, you either are that or not. So I initially started hating on this motherfucker. Like I'm like, you know what? I reached out to him to play Magic the other day, and I showed him like my setup right there, which has got like a little like 21-inch flat screen smart TV, and it's like a full perfect dining room table. It's not too big. It's perfectly rectangular, and it's fucking dope as shit. I mean, this fucking table's awesome. I can. Oh, I have to bring you all the way around. But yeah, this table is dope as shit. I fucking love this thing. Yeah, that's where I keep my Adidas shoes, just because I don't want them getting dusty. And they gotta stay white. And it's impossible. And for some reason, Adidas, put a back on the fucking shoe so that my pants don't just go down and I walk on them. I tried putting my pant leg in the bottom, and then you make a big step, and then boom, your pant leg is outside. Even when you wear such baggy ass Adidas pants as I do, which are like fucking literally like 3 times too big for me. But I do it for aesthetic and all around comfortability. But yeah, this is like got nothing but decks and decks and decks of Magic cards. And this is completely irrelevant, but I feel like I have to show you. Like, I have, like, they're not like this, but, card decks. And then, they're like that. And they're not in plastic like this. Like, half of them are. But they're all set up to be, like, the most dopest 40-card deck in a revised game ever, which is the only way to play Magic the Gathering. And also this motherfucker's like, let's do a commander deck, and he knows that I think that's stupid and ignorant, so that's his excuse for being a flake and not really hanging out with me, because he waited and has a very wealthy family, and his girlfriend is extremely wealthy family. That was her thing. She had wealth and built a personality which made her look like a 3 out of 3. Because she was average looking, but just that, paid for perfect smile. I mean, okay, when I'm talking about wealth, yeah, so this is full of just probably maybe, 1,000 something decks. And I have, wait, did I go? No, going the wrong way again. Sorry, everyone. Okay, I'm sorry if I just made you all sick as fuck. I should have, but yeah, I'll have my producer edit that out. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, so I have, like, I mastered Magic. Like, everything I do, I whole ass. So, Magic the Gathering is, for one, the only fun and adult playable trade card game. And, to be clear, any card called Magic the Gathering, pretending to be that is sold past the year 2011. So that means pretty much you have up to the sets and like the 10th edition. That's it. No 11th edition, nothing. Up to the 10th edition, because after that they started changing the rules. It was not the same game anymore. Then they, literally started tournaments. Like, they were already starting tournaments, but it was fun because the cards were literally revised tournament cards. So it was like they were still making old cards, but just in new sets with new designs, with new pictures and shit, but with the same rules. They started changing all the rules, so it was no longer the same fucking game. So during that time, they would be like only set only, so you can only play from that edition, which was fun as fuck. You'd go with your friends and you would buy like, you know, a couple starter packs and then like 8 booster packs or whatever, or 10 booster packs, and that would, or whatever you would have you for funds, and then that you would make, you know, you would at least get one starter pack, and then like traditionally it'd be one starter pack, so you would have at least did I say 40 cards earlier? It's 60 card decks. Yeah, you have exactly 60 cards in every deck. And yeah, that's the perfect Magic amount. Add any more, then you're an idiot, because you only have the ratio of 60, because that is the minimal amount of cards you can have in a deck. So you can only draw, and you can only have 4 of one type of card. So, I mean, just besides mana, and that's it. So, if you have the perfect deck, you have 4 of every certain card, and you have around, say, 16 to 20 mana. If you shuffle correctly, all the mana is split up, and every single card that you cast only costs 1 to 3 mana, because you only end up pulling out maybe 4. And if you're going to really destroy them and really end them really quick, you end up pulling out like 5 or so. And then you play like 3 spells that does like 9 damage, or plus if you have a double damage counter out there, which is like the end of all rules that were ever accepted, which was counters. That was it. Any rule after that, every type of like that fucking type of deck that fake motherfucker wants to only play with, which he knows that I won't, because I don't like, literally you have to buy the cards after, which they have rules that are for commander decks, which is you have one big ass commander card which you buy special, or you can pick any card, but it's a commander card, and then if you're lucky you get the special edition big one of it, and then you put that out front, and that's only for show, really. But they make the commander cards the regular size. But yeah, you have a commander out there as a leader, and then you have 100+ card deck, like 100 card minimum deck. Who the fuck wants to go and build up 100 cards? Like, you can play regular Magic and build up, like, say, okay, this is how Magic is fucking fun. You can decide, hey, how do you want to go? Do you want to have something that we both build up a little bit and then attack each other with large numbers and have like a real war? Or like, so you'd have like, green. So you put out a bunch of elves or just big ass monsters. And then, yeah, I am teaching people about Magic the Gathering. Anyways, the game could be played in so many different ways. It is so fucking fun. I have the ultimate setup to play, and yeah, it's just sitting here being wasted before I move. I don't know how much space I'm gonna have, if I'm gonna have an area to completely chill out with, like the ultimate fucking man cave room. My man cave could be only a quarter of this size. I don't fucking know what I'm gonna end up having. All I know is that I got the perfect setup right now because I restored this entire fucking part of the house. And that's it. The rest of the house is shit that I just patched up because I have to live through it. Because my sister is a fucking pig toilet, and she allowed every fucking scumbag, redneck, incesting motherfucker in my town to go and literally use it as a town. I guess, I don't even know. I guess every type of classification. I mean, you could call it a fuck pad. I mean, you could call it just a drug pad, like a dope den, like anything. You can call it everything negative. It was. Place to just piss. I don't fucking know. It literally was. When my mom came back here, when she found out she had cancer again, and then her fake boyfriend, who I told her was a fake fuck, and never accepted him and hated him the whole fucking time until my mom caught him. Yeah, my mom like refused to believe it too. She thought he was like, the actual man that my dad promised to be. So, a man that was actually above 6 feet tall and actually, had genetics and was actually that like, John Wayne type, that fucking Clint Eastwood mix. Like that was my mom's ideal. And she saw that in my dad, and that's a picture that they painted for me. And of course I wanted to be just like that asshole. Because who the fuck doesn't want to be like Clint Eastwood? Like, who the fuck doesn't? And then, yeah, so, I completely went off a crazy rant. But yeah, so that asshole was, not Hitler's, but whoever financed him the most fascist belief was the perfect human. And he is a fake motherfucker because I reached out to him. And at least he still plays a part as, like, my friend. So genuinely, I think he's, like, dumb enough to actually not be a terrible person ever. Like, really. I mean, he just has that I'm a rich, pretty kid. Because he's beautiful. I mean, I don't know what color his eyes are. So I can't say he's actually the blue-eyed, because I never paid attention. I think it's probably, they're like green or something. But he's very handsome. I lost a few girls to him in like middle school and even that in between middle school 2 grades that we had, which was fucking weird, 4th and 5th grade. It was like 1, 2, 3, which was elementary. Then we had 4th and 5th, and then we had middle school, which was 6th, 7th. Wait, no. Yeah, no, it was it was 4th and 5th, and then it was 6th, 7th. 8th and 9th grade, yeah. Wait, no. Just another 2 years. Middle school was just another 2 years. So it'd be 4th, 5th, and then 6th, and then 7th, and then high school was 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So no, it was 3 grades. Yes, 3 grades. That's what I thought. Wow, it's been a long time. But yeah, cut all that part out. I feel like a fucking moron, but I wasn't thinking about it at all. But yeah, so we grew up in the same town, so we went to all the same schools together. And his name is the top, like his last name is on the higher part of the alphabet like mine is. So of course we got bunched together in every fucking thing. So I actually, thinking about it, the whole time they were, you're on this stupid ass YouTube channel like mine, and it's like, get to the fucking point. Right now, you want to see me doing abs, and I'm just talking, and I was just telling you about fucking Magic the Gathering, like you give a shit. Now I'm telling you about irrelevant motherfuckers in my life and how they tie to a person that should have been found, but was chose not to by the Biden administration, and that literally the Democratic Party, which I don't really address them as that because they're no longer anymore. They're way more radicalized than that. But they literally incited the January 6th attack, like 100%. Had nothing to do with the Republican Party or any conservative out there. It was literally fake news on Democratic news channels only. Just completely biased. And so, yeah, the pipe bomber, also fucking Democrat, living in a very, very wealthy fucking cul-de-sac home, which looks just like that motherfucker's home now. Which is, if you put a jacked up, I think it's like an F-150 or an F-350 or something, or it's a Duramax. I think he went diesel, but I don't know. He would go diesel because, he's just like, he probably just went through the fucking whatever the rich person would do in that situation, which if you wanted a big truck, you would automatically go for something with the most torque, which would be a badass like Duramax type diesel. So yeah, I'm sure he went with that. And then I thought he bought like an Evo or something, but he ended up buying like a new Subaru, and then went and bought a new Mustang, but it's not one of the Mustangs that anyone would ever own. It's like a 2015 or 16, I think. I think it's a 2016, he said. But I would never want that car because it's like a bubble. It's ugly as shit. Pretty much after 2005, every Mustang after that was ugly as fuck. Because 2005 was the first, Mustang that tried the whole, new body styles that were plastic and bubble. But no, it was right before that. But they were trying to go retro before they went with the whole bubble retro look. And yeah, it looked just like, an old 1967 Mustang, which was badass as shit. And then every single year after that, you thought that it would go more like the 67. But no, they just made it rounder and rounder. Until now, it's like they have full fucking hybrids. It's like, what the fuck? So Mustang died back in 05, literally. Because the 06, they changed the body. So literally 05 is like the last year you can buy, and it's a real Mustang. For real. I'm not joking. It's fucking insane. Anyways, and the new 5.0 is, everyone's like, oh yeah, 5.0 to me. And it's like, fuck you, that's not the same fucking thing. You have some fake wannabe 5.0 engine that doesn't have an offbeat V8 in it. The fuck is wrong with you? Stupid cocksucker. Alright, I really gotta, lay off with the swearing because I got a potty mouth, and I guess a lot of people, if I want to actually, not talk to just myself right now because the video's gone way past 20 seconds. I gotta clean my shit up. So, yes, and get to my actual workout. I would normally just cut this whole rant out because it's like literally 38 fucking minutes of a rant. Fuck. I can't be doing that shit. Alright, I'm gonna cut it here. And then actually do like a part 2. Yeah, so my point is that I thought that the pipe bomb guy was gonna be a privileged motherfucker, and then when I thought about how fake it was, because he made excuses about hanging out again, not having enough time and shit, which is if you don't have enough fucking time in the world, your life either sucks bad, but he has such a privileged life. He lives in this big ass house. He has everything money can buy because his girlfriend was brought up from wealth. Their family had so much fucking money. First of all, the brother of her, they were twins, got every EVA evolution as they came out when they were popular. So pretty much the 06s, the 05, 06, and 07. And then pretty much, I think it was 07 is when he got the first one. And then he got the 08 and then the 09. And I think that's where he stopped at. Or he probably went to the 10. I don't fucking know. I stopped paying attention to that rich piece of shit. Because, like, he came to one. I went to one of the parties that was, that he attended with, like, his group of fake ass rich friends. And everyone kept calling me Hulk because it was like, he ended up having a follower because he's short as fuck. So he made his follower the only person that had that fake ass lifestyle and was attractive and he's actually an ugly dude. He had fucked up teeth. He might have had them fixed, but I mean, all in all, like the way his look and everything, he looked like a cool, attractive kid. But I say kid because he was only like 4'11". And he was like my little fucking Danny DeVito way back when we were in 6th grade and 7th grade. And then I didn't like the fact that he got more girls than me, even though it was like all the girls mentally were with me, but they would go and kiss and be all affectionate with him, and it was fucking disgusting. And that's probably because they just had like a little brother fetish, which actually makes a lot of sense, actually. When you watch a lot of Japanese fucking animes, the way they like rub their tits on them and shit on things they think are cute, and then they're like, oh, never mind. And then so this little fuck ended up worshiping this other little fuck, and he totally embraced it, and then gave the guy money and opportunities. And I can't say guy, but he'll always be a kid being that short. And then that motherfucker was my best friend. And one time, let's hang out and all that shit. And then he fucking flaked on me. That's when I knew he switched over to not being a good person and was just all about that fake persona life. And then and I knew about this other fuck, the twin, the little bit taller, who made him his little bitch. And he followed him fucking everywhere. And that guy, and this short fuck, he had so much money that he got girls all the time because he had that, and he had a hot ass fucking mom or something. And he had this super hot sister, which was literally just a girl that was smart enough to get a bunch of other really pretty hot, actually hot girls. She wasn't super hot. Her personality was super hot. She was average as fuck. But she got everyone else around her that were really attractive because she was intelligent, because she gained a personality, and had them surround her. So then, birds of a feather flock together. So when you're in that type of, you're all together, you socialize. It's like cul-de-sacs at all the rich people, all those housewives television shows and all the fucking wealthy neighborhoods where they all get together all the time and shit. Because pretty people like to be around other pretty wealthy people. End of story. So what I'm getting to is that I totally assumed that he was just like my old, friend when we were actually in school. And also, one time, the older sister, which I fucked up because I probably could have nailed the older sister, because, I didn't, a lot of the years, I didn't realize I was as good looking as I was when I was younger. I really didn't. I did not know. I didn't have the confidence. I just didn't. And it sucks. Because my father was so fucking abusive and was so anti-me. He treated me like a rival since I was a fucking little boy. Like a fucking child. I wasn't even fucking 13 yet before he started beating me like I was some guy he was trying to shake for money. It's come to find out my dad was actually a narco trafficker. No wonder why he treated me that way. That stupid bitch. I will show you what it's like to be a real fucking man. You ever fucking see me again and I'm not high as a kite and just miss my father? I'm gonna knock that Jew nose up into your head, period. You deserve it. And I'll get away with it too because I have the receipts. Look at this fucking scar on my forehead. Seriously, you've beaten me since I was old enough to, like, before I was old enough to remember. So, yeah, that's you. And so, yeah, I was going to be mad as hell about, I didn't have confidence because of that fucking asshole. So I could have had so many. And then the fact that I grew up in a shithole because my father didn't feel like doing any housework. He was above it. And all he cared about was being this great narco trafficker. But it's like, hello, you live in fucking New England. Like, this fucking shithole of pollution. It was wonderful before all the dirty people moved in. And it was amazing before, all the dirty people moved in and then they added all the pollution. And I'm not saying the dirty people are the pollution, but they had to add a lot of pollution, like hence salt on the roads to make up for the population, period. Not because they were dirty or the people that came here were dirty, just because they existed. It just sucks that they were the fucking bottom of the barrel and ruin the fucking place by being here. Yes, their being here is what causes all the crime and poverty and all that shit, because they grift on other people that grift on other people because they've been grifted off of, and it's like a fucking bad cycle of fucking middle class, upper middle class people being turned into lower middle class people and then bottom feeders. And that in our town was all middle class, upper middle class, period. Or upper class when I went to school. And if you weren't, it was weird. And you were kind of like, it wasn't weird because we were humble. So we, were nicer to them. And yeah, so that's why it was such a shock when I went to a tech school and it was like nothing but just fucking poverty everywhere. It was 90% poverty besides the people that came from my town. Literally, and that was it. And it's like, really, we were the only fucking upper middle class town to come here. And then, yeah, and of course we had to associate with all the fucking skinheads and the fucking racist motherfuckers because otherwise we would have died. And it was literally a race war for like the first couple of years of high school. I'm not even fucking joking. It was a race war. Like a full-on race war. I wasn't involved because I had no confidence and I was a little pukey kid that just got, picked on all the time. I mean, I tried to raise my confidence when I got into Eminem and dyed my hair yellow, and then I just got called light bulb. So I just, my confidence never grew ever in high school until the end when I started to realize how fake the whole fucking place was. Every person that had school spirit, I'm like, for what? This shit fucking hole that is only allowed anyone that has a brain, and literally like 90% of your class is dropped out, and literally the only girls you go to school with are the ones that slept with the teachers enough to not get kicked out, or were just, you just pretty much, it was just nothing but the girls that liked to have multiple men. That's it. That was all you had left in our high school. So, which was funny, which just makes me wonder about the whole situation with the twins, because, I know she's cheating on him, and I feel bad. I think he gained weight, too, because he ain't no fucking lifter, and he got pretty big, which actually makes me pretty sure with the money he had, he talked to a doctor and went on fucking, like, the beginning of Trem way back when, because he did blow up in less than 2 or 3 months. Like, he was bigger than me in 2 or 3 months. And I'm like, wow, his genetics are great, but his genetics aren't as good as my Swedish ones. So it's like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like his background, I don't even think he has many European, I think he's like mostly one. I don't think he's a mutt or anything. Anyways, it's all fucking irrelevant, and he's an irrelevant person because he's only like a fucking barely 2 out of 3. his family had a lot of fucking money, which also brings me up to the point where they decided to have a water balloon fight, and I was, obviously full dressed and having pizza and eating and enjoying the cars. I was standing next to the cars, and the older sister ran up to me and threw the biggest fucking water balloon all over me. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, all my dry clothes that I don't want to get wet, I could have just scratched the car that I was standing in front of admiring. That's worth more than my life at the time. And also, I had my phone in my pocket. I had my grass in my pocket. Everything. And she just hit me with a fucking water balloon. My grass got wet. I would have done more than hit her with my fucking pizza that I was eating, which got soaking wet. So she ruined my food. That's why I threw it at her. I wasn't even thinking about all the shit that she did get wet, but not bad, because I would have fucking lost my mind. Instead, I just went inside and faced the music, and her parents were like, shame on you, she gets you wet and you ruin her shirt with a pizza, because it was this blue Hollister shirt that had white stripes. And then when I think about it, I was like, you're like probably like the third richest family in town that have kids in school. You do realize that you have your own fucking road as a driveway. These motherfuckers had a house in the biggest fucking yard ever, but it was like almost a mile off the main road, and then surrounded by miles of trees. They literally could have gotten away with like the most fucked up things in the fucking world and never got caught ever, for their status, and just the fact that the way they everything. They could have gotten away with murder, period. And they probably have, and probably, or something. Like, they have one of the type of homes that a serial killer dreams of, or a cult dreams of. They have a home exactly like that. Yard too. The yard's set up perfectly to have, like, thousands of people lined up in the backyard. Like, seriously, you could have a full-on cult in that fucking place. I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating. But, yeah. So, anyways, they gave me shit for that shirt, and I was just like, so? She got me wet when I didn't want to be wet. And they I'm not sure if they didn't kick me out, but they shamed on me. And I think it was like her way of crushing on me, now that I look back on it. So, and she was always gorgeous, but she was like I was friends with her brother, so I'm not a fucking piece of shit. I'm not an opportunist. Ever. I probably could have become a millionaire right by now if I was just an opportunist. If I was a piece of shit, grifting opportunist, probably by, I don't know, middle school, I would have had prospects to become a millionaire right out of high school. I would have not gone to a tech school. Yeah. And worked my ass off to have everything. Yeah, it's really fucked up. Oh yeah, that little fucking midget that was my best friend at the time, when I was in like 6th grade, he called me Hulk the whole time. And then his lord, the guy that he sucks the dick of, he couldn't remember my fucking name. He kept calling me, like, he's like, oh shit, you're awesome, because I'm like, like this Greek god at this point, and I'm seeing these motherfuckers like 10 years, or if not 10, it was like a good it was like 3 years out of high school. So this is like 4 years of me bodybuilding and living, like 2.5 years, like almost, we're to the point where it got old, and like, how the fuck do you not know about this type of situation? And it's like, what the fuck are you new? Like, when I saw him again, not realizing that I was a full fucking success and that I literally accomplished like 10 times the dude he was sucking the dick of. And then he was just like, "Oh my god, you're amazing." And then like was just like, "Shit, I put my whole fucking eggs in this basket. I threw my whole lot in with this fuck." So after a little while of the party, he's like, "Oh, I gotta go and serve my master." And then the master was like, "Holy fuck, you're awesome." And I'm like, "What's my name?" And then I just looked at him like that, plain as day. I made him feel as awkward as fucking possible. And I said, "Exactly." And then he's like, "Dude, it's not like I don't remember your name." And it's like, dude, I'm fucking better than you in every fucking way. And you're so fucking full of yourself that you don't know my name. And I earned everything I have. You were given everything you have. Given. And this motherfucker is a fucking loser. Okay, just to give you an example of how much he was given, other than the fact that he got the brand new car to have every fucking year. And his parents didn't lease it, they bought it for him. And then they would trade in the car and then buy the next model, brand new. And they were so fucking I don't know, I guess like rich, I guess is a bit way you put it, but it was more like that, I don't know, kind of like that, like Hollywood, wannabe Hollywood type living, where they just like have servants and everything to do everything. So they literally had a servant or a member of the family or something, but whoever it was, I doubt it was a member of the family because they had so much fucking money. None of them would have done this every day, but literally drove him to school in that car because obviously he was like fucking 3 years younger than me. So I only knew of him junior year. And yeah, as a freshman, and his parents were they all said it was his parents or something, but it wasn't, because no fucking parent that wealthy would wake up, do that, and then go back at the end of the day and do it again. Would literally go and drive him in his vehicle to school, park in, they got permission, they paid to park in the teacher's parking lot in the reserved parking area, so that nothing would happen to the car and that there was full cameras on it at all times. And yeah, and he would go and hang out with a bunch of like the all the girls that, you know, which didn't drop out yet, which were just all like the ones that were semi-attractive or whatever. And yeah, they weren't going to go anywhere. They were just, you know, hung up on the fact that, you know, he was so wealthy. I'm not sure if he even had, I don't know, I never went over there. We all hung out down the other end of the lot. I just assumed. So I actually cut this whole part out because I am totally making this up. But for some reason, I think he did have an attractive girl with him or something. Whatever. They were too young for me to give a fuck about. I had heard through other people, and people would talk about it because it was so odd. Because literally a fucking freshman got driven to school, and we all cared about getting our licenses too, so that's why it was a topic. The person, which was probably a slave or servant or whatever, a chauffeur, whatever the fuck you want to call them, whoever was willing to get up at fucking 5 something in the morning to do this for him, because we lived like over like 45 minutes away from school. Yeah, and our school started an hour earlier than all the other schools, so it's like, the fuck. Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, there goes my bus, and there goes my other bus, because that would be if I were to be in the local schools. But yeah, so, yeah, I would go and literally pick him up at the end of the day in his own car, So that would mean that they also were allowed to leave their vehicle there at the school all night. And I know this because I did see like one car in the parking lot, and I always thought it was odd, like who the fuck would park there? One of the times I was doing some Manchester partying. Yeah. New Hampshire's a crazy fucking place. But anyways, yeah, so, I don't fucking, anyways, this is the end of this. I, have talked for an hour, so this will just be my back and abs part 1. This was bodybuilding by Holobic. I'll see you in a minute.